guys, it's Izetta here, and Monday! Woo! Monday of finals week. That's fun. Not really. Luckily, I don't have any finals weeks. This week's theme is name origins. And I go by both Charlotte and Izetta, which are my first and middle name. So I'll tell you a little bit about both. I got both Charlotte and Izetta from both of my grandparents. Charlotte from my mother's side of the family and Izetta from my father's. Well, the reason I got both of my names, Charlotte and Izetta, is because when I was still in my mom's tummy, the doctors thought I was going to be a boy. And so my mom and my dad had my name planned out to be a boy's name, and I was going to be named after my two grandfathers, Dallas, Paul. Thank God I'm a girl. So I was going to go put my grandfather's name, so my mom, without even asking my dad, just switches it up and names me after my grandmother. I'll tell you a little bit about Charlotte first. The name Charlotte actually means feminine masculine. It originates from the name Charles, which means manly, but this is the feminine version of manly, so it's feminine masculine. Interesting, I know. But I'll tell you a little bit how my grandmother, Charlotte, got her name. So she was born in an ambulance on the way to the hospital because they didn't get there in time. And when her mother gave birth to her, and the guy who delivered her asked what my grandmother's name was, my great-grandmother said, "You named her." His name was Charles, so he named my grandmother Charlotte. Interestingly enough, my great-grandmother later on married a guy named Charles. That's how I got the name Charlotte and how my grandmother got the name Charlotte. My middle name, Izetta, which I am more commonly called because I grew up more around my grandmother than Charlotte. So as a child, they didn't want me to get confused about my name. So I was referred to as Izetta. I got this from my father's mother, and I really don't know why she got that name because her parent died long before I was ever born, long before my father was ever born. That all her sisters have really kind of odd names. Her brother has Benjamin Franklin, one of her sisters is Diney and Edna May and all sorts of weird. And the name Izetta, it means, it's Hebrew name, vow to God, or my vow is God, or something like that. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. See you next week. Okay, this week is Name Origins Week. Terry, get out of there. Sorry, my dog will probably be trying to get underneath the blankets this whole time because it's really cold and she thinks she needs to be underneath the blankets at all times. So, I'm sorry about this.